Hi, I'm Amaya, and welcome back to the Amaya Show. This is episode 7. We're getting up there. And let's go ahead and get straight into the topics for today. Hello, everyone. I'm editing, and I have a story so crazy that I need to talk about it in today's episode of the podcast. Mark from NCT, formerly of NCT, was spotted wearing a Confederate flag shirt. It is not a funny situation. He was spotted wearing a Confederate flag shirt uh, in a post, and he did not apologize for it. I want to make that clear. The label apologized for it. Although it's his label, he did not write this apology, okay? He had his employees write it. First of all, I want to explain what the Confederate flag is, because I have seen every time people bring this up, all they say is that it's a racist symbol. The Confederate flag is the racist symbol. The Confederate flag is pro-slavery. We had two groups back in when back when pre-abolition times, okay? We had the Union Army and we had the Confederate soldiers, okay? And the Confederate states were fighting to keep slavery. The Union was fighting for abolition. The idea of you going to the store and buying a shirt with the Confederate flag on it is crazy. This is not a shirt that people regularly wear. Even some of the most racist people would not go to the store and buy this shirt and then put it on and wear it in public. So this is not just your regular degular racism symbol, okay? This is a class A um this is a very big thing to do. Okay. Now we're going to go over this apology. I just wanted everyone to know, like, this was not a regular symbol, like racist people just walk around wearing this every day and it's something normal even for racist people. No, this is like a crazy thing. Um, and I guess I'm a good person to give my opinion on this as someone who is descended from slaves. So we're going to go over the apology from his label again, not from Mark. That was posted to their Instagram story. So they did not want people to see this for multiple days. Okay. This is what they said. One person wore the shirt. We would like to extend our sincere apologies for the concern, discomfort, and disappointment caused by the vintage t-shirt that appeared in a recently shared photograph. The garment was selected solely as a vintage wardrobe item. Now, I'm pausing. This is not from the apology. If you guys look at this shirt, now, it's vintage, all right. This is like the cut of the shirt, right? The style of it. By vintage, is it like 2004? This does not look like. And then let me ask something too. As adult to adult, right? Are you going around wearing shirts and you don't know what the symbol on it is? It would be one thing if the shirt was in a foreign language. Okay. But you're wearing a shirt with a flag on it. Do you not, as a celebrity, you've been a celebrity for over 10 years, and you're telling me that you don't look into what you're wearing out in public? That doesn't make sense to me. As someone who was a celebrity in South Korea, right? Where you can't even wear blue or red around election times. So are you not used to monitoring your wardrobe? Back to the apology. However, upon recognizing the historical significance and sensitivity associated with the symbol displayed on the t-shirt, we took measures to ensure that it would not be visible in any official content. We're going to pause here. Actually, we'll read the next line. Despite these efforts, the image was subsequently shared externally, resulting in the symbol being visible and causing understandable concern among members of the public. We're going to pause here. Let's note how in this apology they never said what was on the shirt. Okay. Let's go back, right? At what point did they notice that this shirt had a racist symbol on it, right? It wasn't when you bought it. It wasn't when you put it on. Okay, you went out in public in this shirt, right? You took a picture with someone in this shirt with the double thumbs up. So, did you notice after you took the picture that it was a racist symbol? How did we come to that conclusion, right? Because if I thought, oh my gosh, this shirt is so, like, I'm out in this shirt, right? This shirt is so offensive. Do you think I'm going to take a picture in that shirt with the double thumbs up? And as a celebrity as well, why not just wear the shirt inside out or something? Right? Is that crazy to do? Why not? Like, the guy next to him is wearing two shirts. Could they not just could he not just give him one? Did he not have staff there? Somebody took the photo because there's two people in the picture and there's one person taking it. So they couldn't have had someone go and buy him a shirt? You see what I'm saying? Like, something's off here. Um Back to the apology. Regardless of intent, we recognize that this matter should have been handled with greater diligence and care. We take full responsibility for this oversight. We're going to pause here. Why do, who is we? Why is, when you make a mistake as an individual, okay, you have to take accountability for that mistake as a person. So if I say something offensive on here, I'm not going to have my mom pop up in the video and say we need to do better because I'm an individual and I did it myself, right? It doesn't matter if the staff bought him the shirt. Let's just say that's what happened, right? It doesn't matter that they bought him the shirt because he put the shirt on. So, I mean, is it their job to review it? Is it their job to make sure that, because you know what I mean? You're the face of it. If you're the face of the product, you need to make sure that it's valid. Back to the apology. Upper Room and the artist unequivocally, the artist didn't even say his name in it. Upper Room and the artist unequivocally reject and do not tolerate racism, hate, discrimination, or any form of intolerance. We understand the seriousness of the concerns that have been raised and deeply regret the distress this incident has caused. We are also grateful to those who brought this to We are also grateful to those who brought this matter to our attention. We value the feedback we have received and are carefully listening to the concerns expressed by our community. In response, we will strengthen our internal review procedures for wardrobe selection and content approval to help prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. Okay, so they're making it sound like the staff picked out this shirt and didn't review it. Who did they hire for? How'd you get this job? I'm wondering. Okay, back to the apology. We sincerely apologize to everyone who was hurt, offended, or disappointed by this situation. We remain committed to acting with greater responsibility, awareness, and care moving forward. That's the end of the apology, right? Okay. I still think, after reading this, I still think that it's shady that Mark had his company apologize because you are the founder. So when your staff makes an error, okay, you're still responsible for the company. You put the shirt on, okay? So to me, if you're wearing that shirt, you must approve of it. Do you think people go around putting on clothes that, you know what I mean? It's not like a sponsored item. That's just you wearing the shirt. This, to me, I don't like. I really don't like this. I think, I feel like it's, first of all, a cop out to put it on your company's Instagram story, right? You didn't write the message, though you were the person doing said offensive thing, right? And like the whole situation, okay, they're being vague on purpose, but just the timeline doesn't even work for me. And I will say, I'm not going to talk about Mark anymore on this channel or on the podcast. Back to the rest of the podcast episode. Next, we have the Korean government investing in some smaller groups. From what I remember, some of the groups were Zikers and Reseen, and I'm going to find out a little bit more about this and come back. Okay, I found a story from the Korea Herald, so I'm just going to read a little bit from here. 10 groups were selected as the inaugural beneficiaries of the program. Reseen, Zikers, Tunex, Kira's, I think, Can't Be Blue, 82 Major, Big Ocean, Aspire, XN, and 8 Turn. I have heard of most of those groups outside of Tunex and Can't Be Blue. I've heard of everybody else listen to at least a couple songs from them. I think this is a great range of groups to select. I think we're pretty even between boy groups and girl groups. Girl groups, Reseen, Kira's, Can't Be Blue, I'm really not sure. I've never seen them. EXIN, Aspire. Yeah, so I think they're trying to be even, which I like. And all of these groups have something that most of these groups they've blown up before, and I think small to medium agencies just have a bigger problem with sustaining that growth. Like 8 Turn, their debut was huge. Tic Tac was everywhere, and then after that, they went kind of silent. They popped back up when they were on a survival show, but since then, I really haven't heard a lot from them except when they went on tour. So I think this is a great initiative, and we're gonna read a little bit more about it. Under the initiative, the ministry plans to select 10 agencies annually and provide each with up to 300 million won, that's 198,000 USD, per year. Companies that demonstrate strong performance can continue receiving support for up to 3 years through an evaluation process. So that's pretty cool. And I really like the idea of supporting smaller to medium groups because most of the ones that are big over here are over here, as in the US, but these groups are typically also big in other countries outside of South Korea. Most of the groups that are big like that are from big agencies. They just have a lot more connections. It's easier to get more visibility for their artists. They can do more collaborations. With money comes more opportunities. So I think it's great that they're looking to help some smaller groups gain larger audiences. You know, maybe P1 Harmony is too big for this because these groups, aside from Reseen, has just started to blow up with their internet series. I think Reseen would be a really good group to do a video on in the future. P1 Harmony is a group that I thought about too because they're they're a really big group, but the other groups under their company are not on the same level. Like Empress and One, I saw them last year. They do really well over here, but it's not like they sell a lot of albums or anything. They don't have a music show win. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not a huge group. So while the big agencies can use their history, their money to make all of their groups kind of big, aside from, I don't even know if that's true because JYP, like some of their groups will kind of struggle for a year or two. Not like flop, but they won't be as big as you would expect from a major agency. And then with what's the other one called? Oh, YG. I don't know what YG has going on. Like Treasure, I don't know what's up with them. I don't know what's up with uh I don't know. Like Baby Monster's pretty big, I think, but I don't know. Something about YG kind of throws me off. Uh, and then this kind of segues nicely into my next topic for the video, which is that K-pop sounds the same. This is something I've been increasingly seeing people say. All of the songs this year are the same, and that's because you're wrapped up in the major agencies, particularly in HYBE. And really, they've only had 3 groups release similar music, so it's not even like everybody's doing it. Uh, they only have 3 girl groups right now. New Jeans is on hiatus. So, yeah, you can say that so far this year, Cat's Eye, Seraphim, and Islet have released similar sounding music, but that's enough. But that's not enough to say that everyone is sounding the same. I will say, however, I have been kind of bored with the music coming out recently. Maybe I'm just not listening to the right groups, but I feel like for the last couple weeks, maybe month, I haven't really been into a lot of the new music that I'm hearing. Whereas I feel like months ago, towards the end of 2025, maybe beginning of 2026, I felt like we were getting hit after hit. And now I feel kind of not really interested. I think I don't know, maybe it's people playing it safe. Like uh my top song for the week was Metronome by Isna, and I like that song more for the beat than I do for anything else. I like the dance too, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the type of song that would normally be a top song for me. So, I'm waiting. Well, you know what? None of my top groups have had a comeback in June. So that's probably why. That's probably why. And yeah, Idol released a song called Crow, um, which I wasn't really a fan of. It reminds me of Trap, trap, trap. I'm gonna look. Is this what you call lovesick? Okay, hold on. It's called Beautiful Liar. I really like that song. And okay. So it really reminds me of Beautiful Liar by Monsta X. The instrumental does. I think those are similar. Play those songs back to back and let me know. And okay, so that's it. That's our one top song of the week. Moving on to our the next category is Rise album review. So someone requested for me to do this in a previous podcast episode, and I prepared to do it, but again, I wasn't really excited by this album, so I didn't feel like making it a full video. With my La Seraphim album review, that was at least a full album, so there was more to get into, there was more to talk about. But Rises is a mini album first, so it's only 6 songs. If you guys want a song by song breakdown, I can do a separate video on this topic, so just let me know in the comments. But I'm gonna give my overall critiques and my review now. The songs were a little bit short, with only Soar and Overdrive being over 3 minutes. I am not a super stickler for a song needing to be 3 minutes to be a good song, because those were not my favorite songs from this album. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. And also for how short the album was, I got bored by song number 4. So at least if the songs were long, I could give the excuse of, I mean, they're 4-minute songs, so it's okay. But these songs are short, so it's like, how are you boring me and I don't even have enough time to get into it? Then I I didn't really like their raps. So previously with Rise's songs, I liked most of it, and the raps I felt were a little better executed in some of their other songs like Siren, Love 119. I think that they can do a good job with the raps, but these felt like they were kind of shoved in there a little bit. They didn't feel well developed, and the flow was kind of similar across multiple songs, so I did not like that on this album. Additionally, okay, the title track to me felt kind of strange, like it didn't have much to do with the rest of the album. So yes, that's accurate. I believe that. Uh it kind of felt like they said none of these songs are going to be our title track. Let's put another song on here. I think Do Your Dance, um again, yeah, I'll save that for a full review if that comes later on. But it didn't really mesh with the other songs to me. And Rise as a group has always kind of confused me. I don't really know what their thing is. Are they, of course, they're not an NCT unit as much as we wanted to believe that. Uh, NCT Wish really has their cutesy thing going on. I know they switched it up a little bit with the song Sticky, but generally that's what they do. NCT, we think of that noise music, the switch ups, you know what I mean? You know what you think of when you think of NCT. And now with NCT Dream basically moving on from that youthful, childlike kind of concept because NCT Wish has taken it on, now the other units of NCT sound a lot more similar with that neo sound. So, uh, and then who else is a boy group under SM? That's it, right? It's just NCT and Rise. EXO, of course. Uh, and I think those are the only active ones. I suppose Super Junior is active, I guess. But so in between these groups, right? We have NCT, Rise, the previous NCT units. Okay, we have the previous NCT units, then we have Rise, then we have NCT Wish. Rise doesn't feel like its own group. It feels like they have a lot going on too. They've always sounded different because they had like Memories. To me, Memories was peak. Memories was first of all, one of the best songs of that year. Uh, One of my favorite songs from a boy group, period. I loved that song. I liked Siren, Get a Guitar, Talk Saxy. What else do they have? Boom, 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 Boom. Wait, what's the song name? Boom Bass? Boom, Doom Bass? You know what I'm talking about. I like that one. Uh, and then what did we Love 119? That was fire. And then we got to a certain point and the songs stopped feeling that same way to me. Maybe it's when Sunghan left. I really didn't I liked their music, but I wasn't that close of a follower of the group, so I didn't feel that affected by it. I mean, even my old group, you guys can see SF9 here on the back wall. They've had several members leave, didn't change my feeling about the music at all. So I really don't think it was that. I think it's that I don't know. It's that I couldn't follow feeling like I knew what they were going for anymore. When they were doing Memories to Love 119, it felt like, okay, we're youthful. We're talking about youth and love. To me, that's what their concept was. And then we got to um, Fly Up, and I was like, what is going on here? We got to Bad Bag Back, and I was kind of confused. When Fame came out, I was like, Fame is a pretty good song in my opinion, but I also say Bad Bag Back. It's not that I didn't like any of these songs. It's just that I was confused by what they had to do with each other and what Rise was supposed to represent because these didn't feel like these were representing love and youth anymore. And then we get Do Your Dance, which is similar theming to Fame. It's not like this came completely out of left field, but if you were to play this song for me and I had my eyes closed and I didn't know what the members sounded like already, I wouldn't be able to tell you that that's a song I like. If you asked me what K-pop group would sing this song, I wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a Rise song." And I think that that's I mean, some people like groups that do whatever. Uh One could argue that SF9 kind of does whatever, but SF9 is not 3 years into their career either. So I think I just have a hard time connecting with Rise's music because I don't know what they're going for. And I think that that troubles me. I want to know what their concept is. And I feel like if they always did whatever, like if they started doing that in the beginning, then I would say, okay, that's cool. But it's like they started doing it a year or two in, so I'm a little lost. But basically, because when you lose the concept, to me, it's just I can only go on a song by song basis, if, whether I like the song or I don't like the song. I can't say, oh, Rise is having a comeback. I'm so excited for that. Because I'm not a big follower of the group. You know what I mean? I don't have that connection to the group. And then also because I don't know what your music is going to sound like. So I'm just going to pop in and out and I don't know. I'm not going to be like a real fan. So those are my thoughts on the album. And I believe I had one more. I thought I had one more topic to talk about. Oh, I did. I did. Okay. Hearts to Hearts. I actually have two more topics. Hearts to Hearts is having a comeback. Um, Actually, it's probably like the day before I drop this. So by the time this comes out, I will have listened to the album. And I plan on doing a review for that because I'm more of a fan of Hearts to Hearts than I was for Rise. I think that's why I couldn't really do this review because when I did my review for La Seraphim, I traditionally listen to their stuff so I could have expectations for it. With Rise, I haven't listened to a full album in from them, like as in a complete album from them, in over a year. So I don't really know where they're supposed to be at, what they're doing, what the thoughts are, what the move is. So it feels like kind of off. I think with Hearts to Hearts, I've listened to every title track that they've done, and I listened to their first single, I believe it was. It was just The Chase and Butterflies, and then they had Focus and they had Style after that, and then they had Focus and whatever songs were on there. So I think I've heard all of their music up to now, and if not, it would take me probably 15 minutes to listen to it. So I think that I could do better with a review of them just because I'm more familiar with them. But I think at some point I should do a boy group review. I'll just have to find a group that I'm more familiar with. And what else? Oh, VVS. Okay. So they've had a lot going on recently. VVS is, if you don't know who they are, because I've never talked about them on here before, they are a girl group. They were under MZMC Entertainment, which was owned by a producer. He previously produced a lot of songs for SM Entertainment. However, now they are independent. So they're trying to shift more into a Western uh, style, Western promotional strategy, I'll say. And I kind of have a lot of thoughts on this. Like, I I get why they would do it because as a group they make more rap R&B music, so they don't really fit into the K-pop system. And like they said themselves, they only had one song that even got approved to be performed on music shows because they swear in their music and everything. So trying to force them into the K-pop style doesn't really work because they're a little too different. But I wonder what it means that they'll be trying more of a Western style. Like, are they going to come over here and promote? I watched the entire podcast episode. I watched it while I was getting ready today. But are they going to come over here and promote? Because I don't know if I really see them being big here either. I think that they have to stay in Korea, but maybe try a different method like they're trying to do. Someone asked me to make a video about VVS. I think I definitely could do that. I think I would do like how I would manage VVS or something like that. I keep knocking down my iPad. Basically, redoing their career up to this point, or just going forward, what methods would I take to structure VVS? How would I promote them? Because I feel like most of the time when people talk about them, it's things that they don't like about the group. Like, what have they done? their first music video, like them being silly with their lyrics, or like their the way they were dressed in one of their TikToks where they were promoting the group, or some people think that what they're doing is cultural appropriation. I personally don't. Uh, but I think that, oh, even like recently they this kind of I have to kind of ooh I kind of have to explain the lore here. So Islet had a dentist office scene in the iconic By Mistake music video, and on the VVS Instagram account, or I believe it's their Instagram, VVS tweeted, how do you tweet on Instagram? VVS posted um saying that Islet was copying them basically, and then people said, well, actually, Islet did the dentist concept back in Cherish My Love, which was before VVS even debuted with their dentist in the Diamonds in My Mouth music video. So there was a little bit of controversy around that. And uh, so I think VVS is just a kind of group that it's kind of like they do have people who like them, obviously, but they're kind of a hard group to sell because I think they don't have a lot of content out, and because they make music that's so different from the traditional K-pop style. And of course, because they're not from they're literally the only group under their label, and now they are under no label. So it would take a lot of effort to make them bigger. And they also said that they had a small team. But I am interested in doing a video about VVS. Not saying that that will be my next video. I do think I'm gonna do probably Hearts to Hearts album review, probably a Hearts to Hearts album review, probably a video on VVS, and then you guys will probably get another podcast episode. And then I'll have to go back through my ideas. So that's all for today's episode of The Amaya Show. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hype today's video. Hyping it helps my video reach a larger audience here on YouTube. And thank you for all of your support, especially on my most recent video. You guys were really positive about that, and I was kind of not nervous to post it, but I took a long time. If you guys read my posts, I mentioned making a video on body image in K-pop a long time ago before I ended up putting this video out. Obviously, I posted that several months ago saying that I was going to make this video, but it's kind of a hard topic to address. Uh, Obviously, it's a very sensitive topic, and I'm glad that you guys think I did a good job in my video. I really tried to take a lot of care towards the topic, and I'm glad that you guys were very receptive of that. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching again. Bye.